namaskar and adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan. Once more with you from your very own channel, Astro Assurance. Once I think it was Shakespeare who said, "What's in a name?" But there can be a lot in a name, especially when it comes to how our fate may be working out and how certain results may be coming into our lives because of certain sound wavelengths that operate in the rhythm of our lives, in the rhythm of certain results that we may accrue, some results that may be coming to us, or even some results which may be being stopped. Now, it is very well known, at least in the Indian subcontinent, that when a child is born, especially in a Hindu family, they look at the nakshatra of the person, which means they look at in which nakshatra the baby is born, which means which nakshatra moon is placed, and based on that, based on the sounds of the nakshatra, each nakshatra has certain sounds which resonate with the energy of the nakshatra, and that one of the sounds is chosen. Usually that sound is chosen in which the planet moon lies in, which pada it lies in within the nakshatra. So if the moon is in the nakshatra of Ashwini, in the first pada, then the first pada sound of Ashwini is normally chosen to name the child, or sometimes the priest may even say any of the four sounds of the four padas, because moon is in the nakshatra, can be chosen. And this is because it is felt that if the name also resonates with your nakshatra energy, then it only gives strength to the dissemination of the nakshatra energies. And the other thing is that the nakshatra energies should not be counter to the name that you are given. So in India, to a large extent, in the Hindu families, the name is kept according to the nakshatra. In Muslim families, for example, usually the name is chosen from the Quran, the Holy Book Quran, again based sometimes on the number of factors. For example, the month in which the child is being born, if there are any auspicious births in that particular month, so then the child may be named after people who have been born in the certain month and they have led very auspicious lives, they have led very glorified lives, for example. And that is the right way of naming people also. And why is this important? Because what happens in generally, we are known by our names at our workplace. For example, we are known by our first name, but many a times we are also known by our last names. So if somebody's name is John Smith, first name is John, last name is Smith, many people in the office may call him just Smith. And usually if you look at sports people, usually the last names are used more often. However, sometimes it so also happens that people may have nicknames. In India, for example, there are many Bollywood stars or Indian film industry stars. Most of them have some other nicknames, and they are known more by their nicknames, many of them, rather than even their first names or their family names. So for example, we have a film star, a very famous film star called Govinda, but his home name or his nickname or his pet name, as it's called, is Chichi. So almost the entire industry calls him Chichi. Even in the film magazines, gossip columns, even in the media, people may use those two names, Govinda and Chichi, interchangeably. Then you have another very famous heroine called Kareena Kapoor. Her home name or pet name or nickname is Bebo. So she is called even by the media Bebo. Then her own uncle Ranbir Kapoor, he was called at home Dabbu. So everybody calls him Dabbu. Then a very famous superstar Rajesh Khanna, he was called Kaka. So everybody used to call him Kaka. So this was very funny. However, to a large extent, the success of that person may also to some extent be attributed to the names that they were called often by, rather than what was their official name. There is a hero, Sunny Deol. His original name is something else actually on papers, but hardly anybody knows his original name. Akshay Kumar, there is a hero, his original name I think is Rajiv Bhatia or something, but he's called Akshay Kumar. Everybody knows him by Akshay Kumar. So sometimes the nickname or the often used name becomes the identity of the person, and many a times if the name is resonating with your nakshatra energies, then many a time the person may also be accruing success from it without even knowing. So the name is very important. So for some reason, if you feel generally the planetary placements are not too bad in your horoscope, the dasha antardasha is not too bad either, however you're still not getting success, then one way of trying to overcome any challenges which you are going through could be by looking at what your name is and is it resonating with your nakshatra, the birth nakshatra or not. If it's not, then it is good to keep the name after the sounds, one of the sounds of the 4 or 5 or 6 sounds. Usually there are 4 sounds of a nakshatra. One of the sounds can be chosen, and if ideally it can be the exact pada in which the planet moon is placed, that pada sound can also be taken. However, sometimes what I have seen is many times the birth nakshatra name, sound name can also sometimes not resonate so much with you. One of the reasons could also be that while moon is placed in a certain nakshatra, the birth nakshatra lord, which means the nakshatra lord in which nakshatra moon is placed, that nakshatra lord may not be placed well, may be combusted, may be placed in some of the dusthanas, may be placed in a bad yoga, may be even debilitated. So now if you just go by the custom and just name somebody because moon is in a certain nakshatra and you use one of those 4 sounds, but the birth nakshatra lord is not well placed, then you may attract some of the challenges, some of the obstruction that the birth nakshatra lord is giving you. But if the birth nakshatra lord is very good and it is very auspicious, for example, if somebody is born in the nakshatra of Bharani and say they are born in the first pada sound of the Bharani nakshatra is Li. Okay, so if a boy is being born in that nakshatra in the first pada, he may be named by Lipesh. If it's a girl, she may be named as Leena or Lilavati, for example. But for some reason, if the nakshatra lord, as I said, birth nakshatra lord is not very well placed, Bharani nakshatra lord is Venus. If Venus is debilitated, Venus is placed with some inimical planets, then it is better try and avoid that. Then what is the second option? The second option is to see where is the Lagna Lord placed, in which nakshatra Lagna Lord is placed, what are the sounds of the Lagna Lord nakshatra, and choose one of the sounds. For example, if the birth nakshatra is Bharani but the Venus is debilitated, but the Lagna Lord nakshatra, say for example, is Kritika, and say the person is born in the third pada, the Lagna Lord being placed in the third pada of the Kritika nakshatra, the third pada sound is U. So many boys in India are named Umesh, many girls may be named Uma, and many other names may follow. So the Lagna Lord, whichever is your Lagna Lord, its nakshatra is important. But say if the Lagna Lord is not also well placed, you may have Lagna Lord is retrograde while the nakshatra Lord is debilitated. Then see what are the planets in the Lagna. If there is a planet in the Lagna which is strongly placed, well placed, say Jupiter is placed in the first house in the sign of Aries, then check if Jupiter is well placed, Jupiter is not combusted, Jupiter is not retrograde, then you may even choose, because Jupiter is placed in the Lagna, which nakshatra Jupiter is placed. Aries means it could either be Ashwini or it's Bharani or maybe the first pada of Kritika. So that becomes very important. If for example the planet in the Lagna is well placed and it is placed in the nakshatra of Ardra, say it is in the first pada, the first pada sound of the Ardra nakshatra is Ku, then somebody can be, a boy can be named Kumar, a girl can be named Kumari or even Kunika. So names can also be chosen according to how the sound is being played out by the planet which is placed in the nakshatra on the Lagna and it's placed in the nakshatra, and choosing the nakshatra sound and naming the baby. If any of these three you are not satisfied, then the exalted planet in the horoscope, whichever is the exalted planet, even if it's in the dusthanas, because exalted planets will give good results even in the dusthanas and maybe some small challenges here and there. But if no other planet is well placed, the birth nakshatra lord is not well placed, the Lagna lord is not well placed in a good nakshatra, planets are not there for example in the Lagna, but you have exalted planet, then you can check where is the exalted planet placed in which nakshatra and then choose the nakshatra sound and place and name the baby accordingly. Say for example, if you have an exalted planet in the nakshatra of Hasta, which is the Hasta nakshatra? Hasta nakshatra falls in the sign of Virgo. Mercury gets exalted in Virgo. So if Mercury is in the nakshatra of Hasta, ruled by moon, then check which is the pada in which Mercury lies. Say Mercury lies in the third pada of the Hasta nakshatra and the sound of the third pada is Na. Then a boy can be named Nagesh, the girl can be named Nadira, or any other name from the Na sound that the parents may like. Now if the child is already named and the name is not resonating with any of them, then what you do? then the best thing is to check or choose the nickname based on any of these rules that I said. Using these rules, check if the birth nakshatra lord is well placed, check the sound of the birth nakshatra lord and keep a nickname with that sound. If the birth nakshatra lord is not well placed, then see where the lagna lord is placed, which nakshatra it is placed, what sound it is. Out of the 4 sounds, it is better to check the sound in which specific pada it is placed, but any of the 4 sounds are also good enough. And if not that, then the planet in the lagna or the exalted planets. Any of these 4 situations where the planet is well placed, strongly placed, you can choose a nickname by which you may be called, and you can tell your friends, you can tell your colleagues. If they are not following, if they are not doing, even after you requesting, for example, Akshay Kumar's original name is Rajiv Bhatia, but he's called Akshay Kumar. However, the industry knows him by the name Akki, and most of the people call him Akki. So if say you're asking people that don't call me Akshay Kumar, call me Akki, but people are not listening, then what you can do is you can start signing your name. When you're writing a mail to somebody, then you can name it Akki, or on your WhatsApp profile you can put that name, or in your email signature you can put that. So when the profile comes up, the name that they see is Akki. I'm just giving an example. Or if you're joining a new office for the first time, whoever you meet, you don't need to tell them your name. Your name anyways goes in your signature. But before that, you may not send mails on the first day, but whoever you meet, keep telling them the nickname that you want to be called by, which is kept basis your nakshatra energies. And when you keep telling your name is this, your nickname, people start calling you by that name. And there are many people in offices. For example, many people in India in offices, they are called Raju, or they are called by half of the name. Instead of Shri Hari, they are called Shri. So you can choose what you want to be called by, and it is up to you how you want people to get to call you. If the people in your department, if you keep requesting them, they will oblige, and if they keep calling you by a certain name, others may also call you. Your family, if you insist, you tell them that please call me this, then over a period of time they may also get used to it. The other thing is, this is about you. Sometimes it may so happen that somebody with whom you are in a relationship with, the relationship is not going very well. Then what you could do is, you can call, say for example, your spouse with a nickname, with a loving name or whatever you want to call, which is based on your nakshatra. Whichever is your nakshatra, whichever planet is strong, you call your spouse with that nickname which is resonating with your nakshatra, so that the relationship resonates with you. She on the other hand should give you a nickname which is based on her strongest planet, which is placed in strongest in whichever nakshatra, using that sound energy. So the couple can do that so that the relationship is strong. Same thing you can do with a company, with your organization, especially if it's your own organization, if it's your own business, then you can name a company, the first company that you're starting up the company, on the basis of when the company is registered, the day it is registered, you take the time and then look at the lagna that is created, then you look at where the moon is placed, and then accordingly the same rules you follow and you name the company. If for example, if you have already named the company, if it's already well known, I will not go ask you to go and change the name. But what you can do is, when you are coming up with new brands of any item, then the new item that you keep, you can also keep them basis what is resonating with the company's name. But if the company is not resonating, if the company is not doing well, then you can also keep, but you are doing very well, generally your other businesses are doing very well, then you can choose for a new model that you are coming up with, a new brand name of any item that you are coming up, you can choose that name which is resonating with the nakshatra lord or the lagna lord or whatever exalted planet which is strong in your horoscope. Same thing you can do with your vehicles. You may have a vehicle, the vehicle may not have a name, for example, but if your vehicle is regularly giving you challenges and issues, then you can choose a nickname, a cute nickname, and then you can make a sticker and put maybe on the rear glass. So when people, whoever is following you in their car, and when they look at your glass, they read that name. The imagery that they have about that car is that name rather than which model your car is. Same thing you can do with pets. If pets are getting sick every now and then and they are not getting treated well, or they are falling sick again and again, then you can also name them according to the sound name of the nakshatra of anybody in the family who's doing very well, because they are living in the same house and that one family member is doing very well. So that sound is also resonating with the person, then you can try and name the pet also after that name. The other thing is you can name a house. Many times we have names of houses. Sometimes the houses are getting into some or the other challenge. Some repair work is coming up, some notices are coming up. The house is not fetching good name. Then you can also maybe name your house, put out a small board outside that this is, in India we call it Mehra house, Han house or whatever. You can do that. So friends, name is important. Name may not be the most important thing, but it is important enough, because we can't really change the placement of planets in a horoscope. We can't say, okay, I want Jupiter here, let me put Saturn into this house, let me put Moon into this exaltation sign in Taurus. We can't really do that. And remedies work only so much. I've said this in many videos of mine. 5 to 10% only. Somebody tells you, I'll give you a remedy which works 100%, 500%, 1000%. It doesn't work that way. If remedies work so much, then people will just do some remedies. Everybody in the world's problems will be solved. Remedies work 5 to 10% maximum, in rare cases up to 30% and no more. So if you are not able to do much about your horoscope placement, you have already married a spouse, you can't change her horoscope, your horoscope, then you can try this name remedy. This may work better for you than many of the remedies that you do. So friend, look into your life, look into your relationship, look into your own career progression so far, what you have done, how you have done so far. Look into your businesses, for example. Overall, have a good analysis of where you're doing well, which part of your life is not doing very well, and try this remedy. You never know, it may work for you. So friend, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation for me, please reach out to me at the link given below. Till some other time with some other video, this is your friend, astrologer and guide Irfan, signing off. Ciao.